This was sort of like breaking news, and I thought it was very interesting to kind of cover this, even after the announcements we got from, the developer director, whatever, which I thought was phenomenal. Microsoft really kind of nailed that. I still take some kind of, I guess, objections to the fact that they could get people much more excited if they just had some exclusives or had a better set for everybody to be excited about. It's a weird kind of situation to be in where you really have the idea that most everything is going to end up on PlayStation and probably Switch 2 at some point. So that could have been one of the reasons why they kind of hurried the Switch 2 announcement to begin with. But even with that being said, I find this to be very interesting and maybe even a little bit surprising. This is a bit of a surprise, so maybe tell me what you guys think. I want to go ahead and get started. What's up, everybody? I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. I certainly do appreciate it. Thank you so much for everything you guys do. If you guys do enjoy the content, maybe leave a like, maybe consider subscribing. Those things are hugely important to a channel on YouTube. So this was, I thought, a super cool thing. It looks like Xbox is hiring for someone to lead an unnamed development team starting next month. So maybe they opened a new studio, or maybe they opened a new development team from the existing one. Either way, it's super interesting to see how they did this. An Xbox job post has been spotted online today, leading to questions about whether this role is for an unannounced team or project over at Xbox Game Studios. Microsoft is looking for an experienced executive producer to lead a game team, but what that team is within Xbox remains a mystery at this time. Furthermore, Microsoft isn't accepting applications for the role until late February, which hints that this project is being spun up and prepared for an executive producer to come on board and lead. The post also mentions the San Francisco Bay Area and New York City metropolitan area as potential work areas for the role. Quote, Xbox is looking for an experienced executive producer leader to join a game development team. In this senior leadership role, you will lead a game team to their peak performance, health, and well-being. It's just an odd thing to me to, to me, if you're going to hire someone to lead a team that's developing a game, be like, we're making cutting-edge, kick-ass games that look amazing on Xbox and, etc. And it's like, hey, let's have a team at their peak performance, health, and well-being. Jeez. Anyway, an executive producer, producing leader, you're responsible for delivering a quality, commercially successful title, steering game development teams to deliver polished, high-quality game experiences by ensuring the team has clarity, energy, and structure needed to be successful. So there's a different range applicable to specific work locations within San Francisco Bay Area and New York metropolitan area. The role was first spotted by a well-known leaker who actually has gotten a lot of stuff right lately, who themselves went on to speculate about what this could be. Roughly translated, claimed that a job post like this usually happens when it's a completely new and unannounced studio, speculating that it could be one piece of a much bigger project in the works. Another option that it could be an overseer role of some sort, especially with the post mentioning a few different potential work locations, the act of steering game development teams. This would also make sense in terms of not naming a specific team, as multiple Xbox developers could come under this leadership role. Anyway, whatever it turns out to be, hopefully Xbox cooking up some surprises for everybody. Again, like with stuff like this, you probably might see some kind of announcement for it sooner rather than later. Just like what we saw with the announcement for Marvel's Blade, right? And they announced that many years before that game came out or will come out. And the reason why they do that is because it's basically they're saying, okay, we're working on the game and we want people to apply to work here. Basically how these things work, but it is pretty interesting to me that we see these types of announcements and we see, Microsoft working on new things that realistically we have never seen before. But obviously also I think that clearly it's, and it maybe doesn't even need to be said, but whatever they're working on probably will be on Xbox and PlayStation as well, and maybe even Switch too. I mean, we'll have to see. Like, that's one of the main things that kind of sucks about the way that they've kind of handled some of these things, right? It's like, it's almost like they're like, okay, well, people spent, $600 on our hardware, but instead of focusing on those people, we're going to make our development times longer and make it so that, PlayStation gets like better versions of our games. So, again, it does sometimes get hard to cheer for Xbox when it feels like they don't really care. Now, pretty much at the end of the day, I look at this and I go, okay, well, what can they do to, get people back on, track, or back on the idea of, Xbox? And I think one of the things they can do clearly is, exclusive games, at least something exclusive. I'm never going to be a person that's going to cheer for Microsoft's financials or whatever the case may be. One thing that I will say is that I hope that they decide to, change things up. Because let's be real, the industry kind of shifts a bit here or there every few years. Maybe not as drastically as Microsoft would have you believe, but it's just one of those situations where anything could happen, and we could see some massive changes from Microsoft not too far from now. But if it is some kind of a new studio, it makes you kind of wonder what it could be, what they could be working on. I think that would be something that most of us would be super interested in. For me, I think that is this something that, like, if you already have leaders of Xbox studios, so it does make you kind of wonder, like, what's the deal with that, what's going on with that, and how far he would want to wait before that. So again, Microsoft is not like they are totally out of the equation here. I just think that as far as this kind of stuff goes, we're gonna have to probably wait a while before we figure out what this is. But they might announce something in the next year or so as sort of AKA here we're working on this game, and it's something that we need more people to kind of work on or whatever. So yeah, I think that's really kind of basically breaking it down into what's going to happen. Whether or not it's going to be a good game, knowing the way how long Microsoft takes to make stuff, we'll know in 2030. I mean, that's not, I hate to be that guy, but that's just the God's honest truth. I think that whatever they kind of make or whatever is just one of those things where a lot of this stuff is not going to be out for a while. And it's so funny because in my younger days it was like, and it wasn't this bad during the 360 PS3 era, right? It's like, oh, you got the first Uncharted 1 year, 2 years later you got the second, 2 years later you got the third. Oh, you got Gears of War, a couple years later Gears 2, a couple years later Gears 3, a year later Gears Judgment. It was like, oh, we got Halo 3, we got Halo 3 ODST, we got Halo Reach, we got Halo 4. It was like you didn't have to wait 8 years to get games, and it's just so funny to me that, supposedly game development is easier than anywhere, like any point in time, and yet it takes longer than ever to actually make a game. I don't know, it's weird to me. I hope that things kind of change with what's going on and how they handle this kind of stuff, in the future. So I don't know. What are you guys most looking forward to, though? Are you guys hoping that Microsoft has another studio? For me, I kind of got over the whole studio thing. Like, more or less, I wanted them to release the stuff that they have before they bother like announcing, a bunch of other stuff. It just feels like, at the end of the day, just having stuff to announce isn't as good as actually releasing the stuff. And so I do feel like this will be a good year for them to actually release things. But is it going to be stuff that we're actually, interested in as fans? So, we'll see how that kind of works out. And, if that's something that can kind of lead to Xbox getting some share back. That would be nice. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. I certainly would appreciate that. You guys are fantastic. Have a great day. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, crap gamer 'em up. As always, I'll catch you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.